we fresh? I hope so, because at the top of the screen you'll see a little title saying roleplay. And before we jump into this session, guys, I just need to reiterate that you'll only ever get out what you put into this stuff, hey? And just like the thus 3 conversations I've had out there, they were all related to how do I position myself with the landlord. I'm new. They don't want to work with me. What do I say when they ask me this? I'm struggling to persuade landlords to work with me. I think they're the 3 conversations I just had. And obviously there's lots of ways to skin a cat, but fundamentally, practicing today is only going to help your scenario. Would you agree? So if you're sat there right now thinking, I would love to go back to back with Simon and bang him in as a prospective rent-to-renter speaking to a landlord, what better opportunity than just now to do that? To tee that up, I want to make sure that we've got the right knowledge, and to do that, I want to revisit the top of this model, particularly this idea of sourcing. It does heavily link into the close, of course, but let's be really, really clear. Viewings plus offers equal deals. Yes? And that's why in the first instance, we've got to sell the viewing. So many people say, oh, I don't know if I should go and view the property. What? Have you got time to do that? Can you afford to drive there? Then the answer should be yeah. And we know the radius can vary. There's people in the room I know would drive 90 minutes for a deal. But Rob and M&A generally did 15-minute radius, didn't they? Yeah? Was it 15 minutes or miles? Maybe it was miles. Either way, it was a minute. Yeah, which is crazy close. Obviously, you know what that metric is for you. But if it meets that criteria, then it's a question of whether you can be bothered. Probably. Just saying it as it is. And it might not even be that property that you want. Because like Simon said earlier, 50% of the deal is the landlord. And you don't know how many properties the landlord got until you meet the landlord. And that's where you build a relationship, add the value, and hopefully the conversation progresses from there. I usually show these metrics in one of the quizzes, but I decided I might just tell you now. Does anyone know what the average portfolio size is in London? It does kind of include Greater London, but bear that in mind. What, an average portfolio? Incorrect. How many properties owned within a portfolio on average within, I think some of it's got Greater London in it, but let's just say London.
8 or 10.
So it did used to be 7. It's actually more than that now. Slightly less, just under double digits. So it's that, yeah, it's like 8 to 9. And it does vary and depends on your data set. That is a lot of properties, would you agree? Yeah? And even further north, and I've talked about Manchester quite a lot to people recently just because I love it. But the same's true with Brum, the same's true with Leeds. The averages are hovering around 6.57. So unless you met that person and asked the question, they might just say, no, is this a rent-to-rent thing? And you go, yes, yes it is. And what I'm going to offer you is absolutely amazing. And they go, yeah, well, I've had loads of this before. And you say, oh, great. Okay, well, you know, have you got any other properties that this might work for? No one asks that question. You know, and the fruit is in the follow-up. I mean, you're kind of following up there, aren't you? But it might be that you say, have you got any other properties? But what's the other question you should be asking? Do you know anybody else? Yeah. I saw some crazy data on this American sales team. And there's this one guy, this might even be a Hormozy thing, someone can correct me if I'm wrong. There was one guy who stood out from the pack. And he was doing all the same scripts, just like we use scripts. And he was meeting the same group of clients, just like we meet landlords and agents. And for some reason, his data was so much, well, it's just preferable. He was on bigger bonuses, he was closing more, his commissions were higher. And they interviewed him and said, what are you saying? Why is your data so much better? And he was like, I don't know, just follow the stuff. And they actually dug into the calls and didn't just do a précis, they went through the whole call. And at the very end of every call, he just asked that question. Whether he closed or didn't, he just said, is there anyone you know who would benefit from the services I've had to offer today? Powerful, no? Are you all doing that? If you are, well done. Now, frustrations. We've got lots of them. I heard loads out there. We don't want any of this. We don't want to doubt ourselves. We certainly don't want any scenario where there's no results. And clearly we want good deals. We want to work with good landlords. Like Simon said, 50% is the landlord, 50% the deal. Lots of you already said this to me, even within the presentation. I'm worried about the contracts. If you get it wrong, 10 grand hole, don't like that. And of course, number one rule of rent to rent is don't lose money. What's the second rule of rent to rent? Don't lose money. It's like Fight Club, isn't it? And clearly, we want great deals, we want the cash flow, and in part, we want to scale. Is anybody confused about what we want and what we don't want? Okay, so let's go down the pathway of achieving what we do want. Had a conversation earlier with a colleague. They said, it's really interesting to see this again. Is it a given that we know the sourcing process? I don't think so. I think we go on Open Rent and we make the calls and we do the land reg and we meet the landlord and we pitch our stuff and we hope to do a great job. But maybe we're not actually following the process, or maybe it's just innate. You let me know. But we find the lead, don't we? Wherever it is. Who's it? Emily, you said that you ran a Gumtree ad.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't work out for me.
No, but
I did get a lead.
But just think, that's outside the box, hey? And of course, there are tried and tested methods. A lot of you are using Open Rent. I encourage you to continue to do that. But we've got to find the lead wherever it comes from. They might even be next door. Have you knocked on? Do you know what your neighbour's doing? If you've got no neighbours, there's some over there. So, viewings plus offers equals deals, so we've got to get on the viewing, make sure we meet somebody real. And if it's not a decision maker, what do? Exactly. If it's clearly someone who's on, bless them, they've got their region and they're struggling and they've got a handful of viewings to do in the day and they've not had a chance to have lunch and you can tell they hate their job and you're trying to pitch them, is that going to work? No. But you would probably say, you know, if I want to make an offer on this property, who would I need to speak to? And he said, well, you made it. So, yeah, but who do I need to speak to? Who's it in the office? You're Johnny. Is it Jackie? I follow you guys on LinkedIn. It's lettings manager. I'd just love to have a chat. Get to the decision maker. So anyway, you can do that on the viewing. We've got an offer, and hopefully you've used either your due diligence, knowledge of your area, and a lot of you will know your areas very well, so that when you go in, you've got that 50% break-even occupancy thing in place. We're going to go through the toolbox tomorrow in terms of research to make sure you know where that 10% rule is. But you make your offer, we exchange contracts, maybe there's a heads of terms in there first, I don't know. You judge that on the landlord situation. And then, fingers crossed, we can close. So really, it's around this place that the magic's happening, isn't it? The discovery. I'm reminding you that you've got terrible tenants or had a terrible experience or your management's let you down. Oh, really? Wow. God, how much did that cost? Obviously, we ask permission to ask questions, don't we? You don't just bang them in like that. Okay. Have a look at the figures on the board for me. The colours kind of flip my brain a bit. Maybe you can understand it more quickly than I can. What's the light grey representing? Hang on. Sorry, that's useful. although not knowing that, actually that would have been a really good question, is what do you think they represent? Ah, missed a trick. So, from a landlord perspective, it's between 60 and 70%, certainly in the data set that we've used. We've been a bit more pessimistic here. They're open, but only if you do a good job, yeah? And that's that rapport, that's the positioning, that's the confidence with which M&A clearly spoke earlier. I think that's a really, really good example. I mean, Simon said I've got 2 months preparation period. The conviction, it's all in there, isn't it? Of course, there are some landlords who have just inherited a property, for example, and they don't know what to do with it, and you are knight in shining armor, and you sweeten off their feet, and you solve all their problems. Yes, of course, there is a percentage of those people. And clearly, I can think of plenty of examples, you're going to have landlords for whom a single family let is the only thing they would ever choose, regardless of the lack of ROI and evidence that it's going to solve their problems. You won't persuade them. At least not on your first viewing. It might take time for the relationship. But is this interesting too? This data actually is preferable, more preferable now. I think I said earlier that beginning of 2024, 1 in 10 of the agents that we were speaking to and mentees were speaking to were open. It's now closer to a third, so I've been a little bit pessimistic and just said 20. But I think this genuinely represents England, I'd say is our data set. But bear this in mind. What do you think is here? Who do you think this is? He looks like a Nigel, no? I don't know. Anyone hazard a guess as to what these types of landlords might be? Well, Matt's going to go for one.
You've got the analytical, one of the there, and then you've got...
Okay, yeah, analytical. I mean, he's got his architecture gear on here, isn't he? The shades and the turtleneck. Okay, second one, anybody? Please, sir?
Live out landlord.
International, live out. I like it. I think that meets both the criteria here. And then finally, bless him, what does this look like? This is Martin. I don't know his first name. Go. Distressed. I mean, his house is up for sale. Say again? Ooh. Lease option landlord. Lease options come up a lot recently. I think what's really cool is that this scenario is more common now than it ever has been. The Renters' Rights Bill coming in. Those of you who own HMO portfolios are probably already part of forums where this conversation is happening a lot. Landlords are fearful. For good reason. There's some unknown commodities, and it will affect their margins. But I'm seeing people at the forums I'm in with landlords, I'm seeing people say, I'm selling up. The government's crushing me into the ground. Any business that survived 2024, that's the landlords, hey? All the more reason for us to help them. Because the reason they want to do this isn't because they don't want to own the property anymore. It's just not working for them. Can we help it work for them? I'd argue to say that we can. So we've got a combination of landlords here. I'm going to clarify. There are some additions to this list. But we went with analytical, jet set, live out landlord, and then possible a lease option thing versus a distressed. Okay, I like it. Now we love a model, don't we? And I think I'm well less versed on the iPad than Simon. So I think if you could grab your little model booklet, flick to this process, please. And we're going to go deep on how you guys can lubricate the conversations with your landlords. Because like we said, viewings plus offers equals deals.
It does.
Who's ready to do some role playing?
Okay.
Is it working for you?
Yeah, massive value that was. Beautiful. Okay, guys, so what I want to do now is I just want to dig a little bit deeper now into the viewing. Because this is where a lot of deals are won and lost. And you know when we looked at the last pie chart slides and we talk about them being open? That basically means if you are good at what I'm going to show you now, you're going to close deals. I'm at the point now where through this process, I can close pretty much most of those open landlords every time. Okay? But the key thing is you've got to do these 5 key things. Do you want to know what they are? Yeah. I'm not showing you. Got it. Okay, so the first thing we've got to do on this viewing, right, is so important and it's so simple, but you've got to build rapport. The fact of the matter is, people do business with people they like. So if they like you, you're half the way there. The other thing is, because we're talking about an asset, which for a lot of people is their most prized possession, a lot of the time, okay, they really want to give it to someone. And a lot of landlords have had bad experiences with agents. Every time they call the office, they speak to somebody new. They've managed 3,000 properties, so the systems are tested every day, and they feel like a statistic. So your disadvantage of you being brand new is actually an advantage if you build the rapport. Okay, and there's been many times where I know they know that I've not done this many times, and I've just said, listen, John, I won't let you down. And if I've built the rapport, he's going with me. So the first thing is rapport. Really, really important. Okay? 3 tips on rapport. It's not necessarily that you have to have been to the same school as them. Okay? Yeah, sure. Number 1, any commonalities are cool. Key. Number 2 is you just want to listen. Actually give good eye contact. Listen to what they're saying. All right? And number 3, which is really, really key, but a lot of people actually overlook, is just agreeing. You know, there's a lot of, right, yeah, cool, and a lot of agreeing, and that builds rapport. And Brian Tracy talks about repeating something back and making sure that you fully understand it, because this is all part of the discovery. Step 2, the attention then turns to the property itself, where we're going to look around the property. Now, for everybody that we work with, we actually ask for people to do viewings and video them, because then we can look at the property and help you analyze it. What you don't want to do is try and build rapport and try and look at the property and do a video at the same time. It happens, and it's just an absolute train crash. You know, like you're bumbling around the property trying to video whilst like missing things that they're saying and just making a mess of it. So you're fully engaged in the prospect, looking at the property, asking questions. A few questions which are key. How long have you had the property for? You know, what's your long-term plans for the property? Do you have any work that you can do to this property? You'd be amazed about certain rent-to-renters, rookie rent-to-renters. They went on a crash course. They start pulling up at the viewing and say, and we do free cosmetic refurbs off the bat. What you don't know is that he'd already planned on replacing the carpets and painting the house. You've just volunteered to pay $4,000 that he was going to put out. So we're asking open-ended questions and finding out about the property, the history, the tenants. And here we're listening out for pain. Are there any pain points there? Now, I'm going to give you one more piece of advice here. Try not to be too critical of the property. Okay? Be complimentary, and just ask open questions. You know, like if I'm walking around and I see the carpet's a bit stained, I might just have a look at it, and that might be enough to prompt them to say, oh, by the way, we're going to sort that out. You know, just think about it. You know, you just let them do the heavy lifting here. The third step is where the magic happens, okay? And this is, we need to establish their motivation. Now, this used to be pain. Find the pain point. But I realize that's incorrect, because there's not always pain. Not always pain. So there's 2 types of prospects, and this is usually in any field. There's any field, okay? You've got somebody that's in pain and that's looking for pain relief, okay? They go to Boots, they get painkillers, whatever. They're looking for a remedy, right? Very easy to sell that person because they're in pain. But what sometimes we forget and we assume is we don't think about the people that don't have pain, but they have an ideal state. They have an ideal scenario. This is somebody that's not in pain, but, you know, would rather lose 6 pounds. Okay, so they still focused on their health and they've still got an ideal scenario, but they're not in pain. All right, and it's really, really important for us to open our ears when we're having these conversations. So we're looking for motivations. Now, I want to give you 3 motivations. The first one is money motivation. A lot of these landlords will be motivated by money. So we're listening out for that. Because if we know, hang on a minute, they're money motivated, then how do you think we might be able to sell them? Might be able to offer 100 quid extra than the asking price. And they're probably going to bite our hands off. 3 months rent up front, you know, whatever it is. The second key motivator that I think is really, really sort of overlooked is security. So if I'm hearing security, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to really tap into that and see what that looks like for them. And then I'm going to put that in my offer. Now, key rule, whatever you do, never, ever, ever, ever move on until you've got their motivation. Never, ever move on until you've got their motivation. Because if you do, at the end, you're going to get hit with objections and the sale could be lost. Because as soon as you leave that property, if you've not got it, you've not got it. Okay? So there's 7, I've not actually done this content before, this is exclusive, but the 7 key things that we're looking for in terms of why people buy or why people don't buy. Okay? One of them is, what is the cost of them not doing this? So somebody that wants security or somebody that's money motivated, hey, James, just out of curiosity, if you don't do this, what are you going to do? Well, I'm going to have to carry on doing all the maintenance issues. Well, you know, I'm going to be empty until I don't know when. Well, I'm going to have to wait for the agent to get back to me. And you want to dig into that because that can bring pain out, right? Another really, really key one is doubt. Doubt in the concept of rent to rent. So here's the thing. If they don't buy into rent to rent, your credibility is irrelevant. Some people I hear you saying in the community, oh, it's my credibility. Hear this a lot. But they'll never buy from you if they don't like the thing. You've got to sell them on the thing first. Do they like the idea of the thing? Then if they like the idea of the thing, then we can build on the trust. Okay? 90% of deals are lost in this area, so we never move on without the motivations. Once we've got the motivations, I'm going to use a darker color for you guys, and I'll do it in red. We then have to handle objections. Okay, and I'm going to share with you exactly how to do this in a moment. But in a nutshell, even if you fully understand them and you've seeded the offer, what's technically going to happen, this always happens, is they're still going to have unanswered questions. And if you've not done this part properly, other things will come up. So a common objection is, well, you know, how long have you been doing this before? How many properties have you got? You know, how soon could you guarantee my rent? What happens if you don't pay the rent? What type of agreements do you use? So what you want to do is you want to tackle as many of these as possible, as early as possible before they come up. There's been times I've been on a viewing, early days, and they say, what is it that you do? Okay? And I'm 100% honest. At that time. Well, what it is we're a brand new business. We're helping relocate hospital staff in the area. There's a huge demand and we've got a waiting list of clients. So then at the end, they're not going to say, how long have you been doing it? They're not going to leave, search me on company's house and say, you were set up last week. I've already told them. So, but there's many of those scenarios where you really, really want to make sure that you're doing it in this discovery section. iPad, please. And then what we then do is we go for the close. And the close, I normally recommend we say yes and agree to the rent and the term at the end of the viewing. We do a follow-up letter and then we arrange a close call. And a close call is where we then discuss the terms and finalize things. We don't try and do that in one go. Now, before we get some people up, these little petals or the glue. Okay? You need to do it here, 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 and here. Can anybody guess what it is? It's the same skill that sits here, 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 here. That's essential in order to do this process. Hello?
Ask good questions.
Ask good questions. Somebody said something else? Listen. Exactly that. Okay? Well done, that was good. Ask good questions and listen to build rapport, to learn about the property, to learn about the motivations, to learn about the objection, and then ultimately be able to close. Make sense? Okay, let's hit the slides. So, Guy, I think we're going to get busy. Who wants to come up here and demo? Okay, beautiful. Round of applause, please. Okay. Okay. So, we should have a mic. Sat to my brother.
I'm good, bro.
Good to see you. Have we got a mic, Mike?
I have no idea what I'm doing, so you have to tell me.
Okay, so yeah, don't you worry. We'll move that there. You just hang tight. In the meantime, I'm just going to talk you through this first step, okay? So basically, guys, the framework one is securing the viewing. This is really important. If you don't secure the viewing, you're nothing. There's 3 parts to securing the viewing. The first one is to build rapport.
Okay.
The second one is to seed value. And the reason we seed value is because we want to pattern interrupt at this stage. We want to pique their interest. Okay? And then the third thing we want to do is secure the viewing. So this could be, we're going to presume this is with a landlord. You've managed to get their number through one of your lead generation techniques. We use 15 different ones. You're going to call me.
Right.
I'll be the landlord. But all I want you to do is build rapport,
Right.
seed value.
Can you elaborate on the seed value?
If I did that, I'd have to
Okay,
kill you.
no worries.
No, I will. No, I will. I will. By seed value, what I'm looking for you to do is appeal to my motivations.
I understand.
Okay? So think of a key benefit that you offer.
Right.
And make me want to let you see my property.
Okay.
Got it? Should we move over a little bit, Mike? A little bit? Cool. Right. So here we go. I'm Jennifer. Jennifer's 58 years old. Property's been on Rightmove and it's been on the sale market, but I've been unable to sell it.
Okay.
I inherited the property. I'm not local.
Right.
Property needs basic cosmetic TLC, but I would consider holding the property and not selling it if I can be hands-free.
Okay.
All you've got to do is secure the viewing.
Okay.
Ready?
Okay.
Okay. Ring the phone.
Hello?
No.
Oh, you actually want me to?
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
okay. Ring, ring.
Hello, can I help?
Hello there. Can I speak to Jennifer, please?
Speaking.
Hello, Jennifer. My name's Jeff. I'm from Sea Haven Properties. Just wanted to touch base with you. I'd like to come and view your property. I've had a look of it on Rightmove, and I like what I see. When would it be available for a viewing?
So who are you, sorry?
Sorry, my name's Jeff Wilson. I do apologise. Sometimes I'm not as clear as I'd like to be. Jeff Wilson from Sea Haven Properties.
Okay, and you're looking to move into a property, are you? Or?
So actually what I'd like to do is to come and view the property. So basically what we do is company lets. Now, because you're near a hospital, we have a backlog of hospital staff that we'd like to have resident in various properties around the area. And I like the look of your property, so I'd love to come and view it, if that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, so you're not buying it then?
So that's definitely an option. But if you don't mind me saying so, Jennifer, first things first. First, what I'd like to do is to come and view the property. And most importantly, I'd like to meet you. Because ultimately, I'm a business person, you have a property. It's got to work for both of us. Do you understand where I'm coming from?
Absolutely. All right, job done. Round of applause. No, stay there. Wow, what did he do well? Scream it out. Yes. Anything else? Polite. Confident. Professional. Introduced himself. Anything else? Credible. Yeah, even though we don't know how many properties he's got, came across very credible. Anything else? Say what? Yeah. So if you look at, he built some good rapport. You seeded some value. When I heard the NHS and a backlog and I was like, okay, cool, now you got my attention. And you secured the viewing. And when I kind of tried to push it back, you moved forward, you went in for the close. Exactly, first things first, let's see the property. You know, like, beautiful, absolutely love that. How did you think you did?
Well, judging by the crowd and judging by what you said, I think I did okay.
Perfect.
I'm not going to lie, I feel rusty since the last time we met. So,
No, you did absolutely great, absolutely spot on. I mean, what could have made it even better was, I think, you could have got to that NHS backlog thing even sooner.
Right.
You know, just to really just make it clear, but you landed on it anyway. And then top tip, guys, whenever you are arranging a viewing, how soon do we want to view the property?
As soon as possible.
Yeah. We find on average 2 to 3 days is the sweet spot or less. As soon as you go to 4 days, 6 days, 7 days, 10 days, a family goes and sees it and takes it. I know what you're thinking. If I'm at work, I can't go there till Saturday. Okay, so you've got two options. Option number one, you make the lead gen close to when you can do the viewing. So you'd wait till Thursday, Friday with an intention to view Saturday or Sunday. The other thing is you prioritize your goal, which means you make time, you find a way. Even if you send a spouse or whatever, get them trained or get them to do a video, the most important thing is to get that connection quickly. Okay?
Okay.
Beautiful. Round of applause. So now we're going to do the viewing. Okay? So you're coming to meet me now. Same situation. This time, you're going to do what we've just discussed, which is basically rapport, the circles, right? The property, the motivations, the solution, okay? All the objections part here. Say yes. And what I want you to do at the end of this is I want you to try and get me to agree to a rent.
Right.
And to agree to the term, i.e. the length of the contract.
Okay.
Okay. I want you to keep it simple as possible.
Right.
Okay. And I want you to secure a video of the viewing at the end. So at the end, I want you to invite yourself to go and do the video. Okay. Make sense?
Yeah.
Now, this part can get a bit funny because obviously when we get to the property part, there's no property, so we have to use our imagination. But I think if I go back, it needs basic cosmetic TLC. So as you're looking around your imaginary property, you can keep that in mind, okay? So this time you can knock on the door. Knock, knock. I sometimes put a voice on, but I've just not got it in the bag right now. Oh, hello.
Hello, Jennifer.
Hey, speaking.
Hello, lovely to meet you, Jennifer. It's Jeff.
I've had a cold. Stay away.
Oh, you know what? You're absolutely right. Let's not get too close. Jennifer, it's Jeff Wilson from Sea Haven Properties. I've come to view the properties. We spoke last week.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, I've had quite a few people round since then.
Okay.
But yeah, let's have a look then.
No problem at all.
Okay. Do you want to follow me?
No, absolutely.
So here's the hall. Here's the kitchen. Needs a bit of TLC, but nothing too bad. Here's the lounge. Okay. What do you think?
Jennifer, if you don't mind me saying so, you've got a fantastic property. I really, really like it.
Oh.
So if you don't mind me asking you, Jennifer, so why have you seen me today?
Well, I was hoping to sell the property.
Okay.
But it's been on the market 12 months.
Okay.
And now I'm just exploring other options.
All right. And can I ask you why are you thinking about selling the property, Jennifer?
It's a great question. I want to sell the property because I want to downsize now.
Okay, I understand.
I've already got my next property, so I don't need to live here.
Okay.
I've actually inherited this property. But yeah, looking to sell it really.
I understand. And if you don't mind me being so forward, are you looking to sell it because of you're looking for money, or is it strictly just for downsizing?
Just to offload.
Okay. Jennifer, I have to say, as I said, I really like the property. So if you don't mind, I just wanted to let you know what we do. So we do guaranteed rents. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
Okay.
Sounds too good to be true.
Well, hopefully it will be, Jennifer. So, look, Jennifer, my plan is to take on your property. As I said, we work with NHS staff, and what we would do is totally guarantee all your rents so that you don't have to worry about anything such as that. But can I ask you firstly, are you planning to do any works to the property at all?
Well, I'd rather not if possible. I mean, if I was selling it, I wouldn't. Why? What's wrong with it?
Nothing at all, Jennifer. But I would say I would like to, if it were me, I would like to just give it a fresh coat of paint and just give it a little uplift, if that's all right with you. You wouldn't have to worry about any of that at all.
Okay, yeah, well, okay, it sounds too good to be true also. So you do that?
Yes, absolutely. Like I said, did you have any plans to do any works yourself?
No.
No? Okay. No problem at all.
Absolutely not.
No problem at all. As I said, we would look to take care of all of that for you. Make sure that it's a nicely uplifted property, just a few cosmetics works, and then get our NHS staff in here. Does that sound okay for you?
Yeah, but I didn't really want tenants then. Is it going to be hard work for me?
Not at all. You can downsize and go off to your other little property. We would take care of everything. And the whole point of this, Jennifer, is to make sure you don't have any headaches. So, Jennifer, if you don't mind me saying so, the idea behind this is that you buy into me. I make sure that you don't have any headaches whatsoever, and I can keep you updated as to everything that's going on with your properties. Does that sound okay?
Yeah, it sounds good.
Perfect. So, Jennifer, if you don't mind, what I'd like to do is to do a video of the property, obviously for our purposes, because we like to keep a nice little record of all the properties that we decide to take on board. But pending that, I have to say, Jennifer, as I said, I really like it. I'd like to make you an offer, if that's all right. Making sure that we agree on everything, but I'd like to make you an offer. Does that sound good to you?
Yeah, great.
Perfect. Let me just go and take a video. I'll come back and liaise with you.
So what is the offer then?
So first and foremost, let me ask you, Jennifer, what would you be looking for in terms of rent?
Well, next door's up for $1,500 a month.
$1,500 a month, okay, so sounds good. Well, like I said, if we can put an uplift on this, can I ask you, Jennifer, with an extra £100 and a box of Krispy Kremes? Obviously, Jennifer, I'm being flippant, but if you like Krispy Kremes, they're yours.
Oh, gosh.
And you're more than welcome to accompany me while I'm doing the video.
So $1,500, $1,600?
Absolutely. I have that much faith in the property. I think $1,600 would do, because I believe that we could achieve that rent for you and a little bit of extra for myself. Obviously, we are a business, and as I said, it does have to work for both of us.
Okay, let's have a look then. Thanks.
You're absolutely welcome, Jennifer.
Round of applause, guys. Smooth criminal. All right, wait. How do you think that went, brother?
Again?
How many deals you on?
How many? Me?
Yeah.
0.
Why? How did you think it went?
I think it went okay. I thought I built rapport. I thought I'm relatively confident in speaking to people. Jennifer seemed like she's a little bit hesitant and whatever, but I thought I won her over.
Yeah. What did he do well, guys?
Very confident.
Krispy Kremes, yeah.
I'm jacked in sales, so I can hear
Yeah.
your sales training.
You're a salesman.
It's your ins and your outs. Is that okay with you? You're asking for permission before you move on, which is crucial.
Yeah, clearly got sales experience. Anything over here? You can have my property. Yeah, literally, it was absolutely amazing, man.
Oh,
absolutely,
thanks, man.
absolutely great
Thank
work.
you.
I think. Did you need to offer me more rent?
Not necessarily, but in my head, because it was Jennifer, and in my head, I saw the property, it could do with some uplift. I thought I could add value, that extra £100 wouldn't be too painful for me.
Okay.
That was in my head.
Yeah, well, at the end of the day, if you've got the capacity to do that, don't be afraid to do that. It wasn't a key motivator. My main motivator was not having to do anything, which
Right.
you did also overcome. Term, did we agree on the term?
No, we didn't.
Okay, so really, really important, guys, to agree on the term. And a line I love to use is, she said £1,500
Right.
is next door. And what I would have said is I would have dug a bit deeper. Do you have a mortgage on this? Because if you've got no mortgage, it's a very different conversation, okay? If she's got no costs. It could be like, what exactly would you be open to? What is your current earnings? Okay. Would some rental income be useful? you know, just to dig into it a bit more. And then when you go for the close, it's if I was to offer you £1,500,
Right.
or if I was to offer you a 5-year guaranteed rent, so you definitely didn't have to do anything,
Right.
and you can use that money, so now you don't need to worry about your pension,
Perfect.
would you be able to negotiate on rent?
Okay.
And then you might have got it in a bit cheaper. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay,
Perfect
round of applause.
sense.
Good, thanks.
you very much.
Cheers, well done, brother. Okay. You find that useful, guys? Okay, good. Let's move on to the next one. So, Jeremy, another volunteer, please. Hand in the air. Hand in the air. Can we get a lady? A lady? No volunteers? I'll pick one. Yes, there, please. Make some noise. Round of applause. Sandra. Coming down, coming down. You can come on up, you can come around. There we go. Just do a quick intro, Sandra, so people say hey.
Hi everybody, my name's Sandra. This is my extended stint with Simon. Got a deal imminent, so hopefully after today I will have sealed it. So yeah.
Perfect. Great. Okay, and we do a lot of deals in the room, man. See that all the time. If you've got a deal in play, pull somebody and let's try and get it over the line. That's happened many times. So I'm Jeremy, I'm 48. It's a Gumtree lead. Okay, on Gumtree, there's a way of getting the phone number from Gumtree and calling the landlord. So you've sourced the number, okay, on Gumtree, you're giving me a cold call, but I am advertising my property to rent. I have a small portfolio. The property needs some serious work, okay? I want solid, consistent returns, and I dislike traditional agents. Make sense? Mm-hmm. All you got to do at this point is build rapport, hook me in. So what do you think my motivation is based on this?
Return.
Money, return, okay? Am I going to want to do work? But I want returns, but I also don't like agents, okay? And I've got a small portfolio, so if you get this one, you could get more. So seed value based on this.
Okay.
Okay, well, I want solid returns, so that's probably a good place to start. And secure the viewing. I'll let you secure the viewing on a date and time and try and get within 2 days for me, okay? Mm-hmm. Okay, you know what to do.
Ring, 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 ring.
Hello,
Hello, am I speaking to Jeremy?
speaking.
Hi Jeremy, my name's Sandra. I've just been going through Gumtree looking at some properties with a possible potential of renting, and I've seen you've got your property on advertised as being available. Is it currently available still?
Well, which one have you seen? I've got a few on there.
So the one that I've seen is the one on Bridge Street.
Oh, yeah.
It's a 4-bedroom. I haven't seen, the picture just shows the exterior of the property. There weren't many pictures of the interior.
Yeah.
So it's based on that I'd like to arrange a viewing with you.
Yeah, no problem. A little bit busy now, but I'm there at 5 o'clock.
Yeah, that's good for me. I actually have to travel in from work, so I may be like a little bit, maybe 10 minutes either way, but I'll endeavour to get there. Can you send me the address and the postcode, please?
Yeah, it should be on the ad.
There was nothing on the ad. I've tried to source it before, so I'd need you to give me that advert because I'm coming from work, so I'd put it in my sat nav so I can get there as quickly as possible.
Okay, no problem. I'll send it over. Is this the best number for you, Sandra?
Yes, it is.
Okay, and I'll see you at 10 past. I can't stay much longer than that, so...
I will be there as promptly as possible, so don't worry about the time. I'll be there.
All right, see you later. Bye.
All right, thank you.
Round of applause. What did Sandra do well? Louder. Listen, secure the viewing. To the point. Kept it, I pretty much invited around. So don't go past the sale. You didn't go past the sale. There's no point saying, well, what it is I run a guaranteed rent and 5 years. I've just said, come and look at the property. And are you going to have a better chance selling me in person or on the phone?
In person.
Exactly, because you could build rapport. Really good. Do not share what you don't need to. Anything else over here? What did Sandra do well? Responsive.
She could tell that he didn't have time to be on the phone, so she was like, right.
Didn't have time. So, you will get that, okay? There was one thing that
What if the person advertising wants to dig down deep into why you want to come round? They could say, well, I don't want to see you until you tell me what your business is and how do you want to meet and why do you want to meet and so on.
That can happen. Well, I suppose they'll know why they want to meet, but I know what you're saying. You're saying if they grill me a bit, if they qualify me. So we'll do that on the next example, okay? Sound good? There was one thing.
I nearly took myself out of the deal because I said that I have to come to work.
There you go.
I'll give you 10 minutes either way.
There you go.
So I nearly self-sabotaged.
Why don't we say you've got to come from work?
Because it makes me real.
Why else?
It makes it look like this is about solving.
Correct.
This needs to be your focus.
Yeah.
Why
So,
would not see you then?
correct. So when you're in a rent-to-rent conversation, all you do now is this business. Now, what's really interesting is if you say I had to come home from work and you was a residential tenant, that makes sense. So technically she would have got the viewing. But then when she then pictures a business in person, it's going to be like, well, hang on a minute, you just told me you come from, like, what is it? So you don't want to be working. You don't want to be introducing yourself as you're a nurse unless there's an angle. I'm a nurse and now I realise there's an opportunity for loads of nurses, so now I run this business. This is your main thing now. Does that make sense? Is that helpful?
Yeah.
Okay, let's fast forward to the viewing. Also, just where possible, try not to add friction. Okay? Which basically means if I say 5 o'clock, get there at 5 o'clock. Like, leave work 10 minutes early because that could be the thing that just pushes them away. Okay? Just keep it simple. So, you've arrived at the property. You want to continue building rapport, which is a bit tough with Jeremy at the moment. You want to have a look at the property, which needs considerable work. Okay? Needs considerable work. You want to look at my motivations. You want to see if you can offer a solution and say yes. And ideally agree on rent and term. Now remember, I have other properties. The property needs some serious work. So it may not work for us unless I'm willing to invest. I want solid returns. And I dislike traditional agents, which I don't know what Sandra does yet in this eventuality, right? Which is a bit nervy sometimes, okay? Sweet, okay? Right, you can just knock on the door.
Knock, knock, knock.
All right, cool. Let yourself in.
Hi, Jeremy. It's me, Sandra. We arranged for me to come across for the viewing for 5 o'clock.
10 past. You're late.
I apologise, but I did kind of caveat that I may be a little bit late. But I apologise for the inconvenience that I may have caused.
No problem. Well, I've only got 5 minutes, so just want to have a look round.
Yeah, most definitely. Should we start?
Yeah, you go ahead. I'm just going to do a quick call.
I've just brought you a coffee because I'm minded that you've probably had a really bad day. So I've just brought you a coffee. If you mind me looking around by myself, or are you going to come around with me?
Sounds good.
Okay.
Right, so here's the kitchen.
Okay.
No, it needs a bit of work, but, you know, it'll be fine. Here's the conservatory. Gets a bit cold in the winter, but don't worry about that.
Okay.
Got 2 bedrooms upstairs, downstairs WC, and there's a newish bathroom upstairs.
Okay. Lovely property. I can see you've got lots of potential for your rental. How long has it been on the market?
Are you an agent?
No, I'm not. I'm looking to buy rent the property.
Because I don't like agents. I don't work with agents. I manage this myself.
Okay. Can I ask what you've had with agents? What the problem is with agents?
Well, I've been in property 25 years. I've got a portfolio. I've got my maintenance team, so I do all the management.
Okay. And how's the maintenance and the management been for you thus far?
Fine. I've got a team.
Okay. So how frequently do the team come round and your agents come round to check
Well,
on
just
your
a quick one. Just what is it you're offering?
So I'm offering the price that you've advertised the property for, which is 3,500. So I'm prepared to give you your asking price.
No, but what's your service? Are you looking to move into this house yourself?
So actually, I'm a relocation agent.
Right.
I understand that you've said.
Get out, no, Joe. Sick of you rent-to-rent.
I understand that you've said that you've had bad experiences thus far with other agents. They perhaps haven't been reliable. They haven't maintained your property. They've put in.
No, that's not it. Okay. I've just been doing this for 25 years. I've got my maintenance team. I've got my portfolio. I do this full time. I'm happy doing the management.
So what I could bring in addition to what you're doing is that I could bring you assured rental. You've intimated previously that the property's been vacant for a little while. With the service that I can offer you is that I can give you assured rental, so there wouldn't be any gaps in your rental. I work with a large team of property investors who support me in how I manage properties, so I can bring that to you and assist you to ensure that you don't have any void periods in your property.
And what, I'm guessing there's a catch, the rent's going to be lower, is it?
No, the rent will be as you've asked, and as I said, we would assure your rental, so there would be no void periods going forward.
Okay, all right. Well, I'll have to run it by the partner, but yeah, in principle, sounds all right.
Okay. So can we agree on I'd like to make you an offer for the full price of 3,500, and I'd like to take the property for 3 years. How does that sound to you?
I'll say I will speak to the partner, but
Okay.
yeah, in principle, sounds okay.
Okay.
Maybe not 3 years, maybe 2, but we'll come back to you.
Okay, I can work with that.
Okay?
So I will get you, I'll give you a formal offer and email, and you can present that offer to your partners, and then hopefully within a couple of days we can have another follow-up conversation to see if we can still go ahead.
Great work, thanks a lot. Round of applause. How was that?
I felt my legs like this.
How did you feel you did?
I think I gathered momentum as I was going on, but my mouth was running faster than my brain. So I think I came down a bit mumbled.
Well, I mean, you don't have to normally do it in front of 200 people, I'd say.
No.
But she did well, didn't she? I mean, I was grilling you a bit. Did it feel realistic?
Yes.
Have people had conversations like that
Yes.
before? You know, they're not always easy, right? So what did Sandra do well? Stuck in there. She didn't take it personally, did she? She brought me a coffee. Would you know
That
what?
was a tip from Guy.
Do you know what? It's funny you should say that, but it goes a long way.
Going back to his problems and being able to solve his problems.
She did. Any other things that Sandra did well?
Eye contact as well. She was very confident. Even though she didn't feel it, like I think she was.
Eye contact. Anything else?
She said how she can add value, because he was saying he's got his own management company and stuff, and he sorted it all out with his company, but she was saying what she can add on top.
Good. I thought it was really, really great. Well done, Sandra. So a couple of things that could have made it even better. Okay, one thing is be very, very careful putting words in people's mouth. Okay, so there's a common thing where people will say, oh, I bet your property management is headaches, when some people love it. So everything needs to be open. How are you finding that? Okay, you don't want to be the one saying, well, forcing the agenda. You've got to keep it open. The second thing you needed to do in this scenario was to ask about the works. You know, it's not let. How long is it not let for? Do you think it might be because... And, you know, guys, when they're not qualified, you can punch a bit. You can go in a bit. You know, what are you thinking about this kitchen? What are you going to do? This wouldn't be suitable for my clients in its current condition. Like, there is a time and a place to do that and show your positioning. Okay, and then once again, when you've gone to the end, you've offered the full rent, whereas I'm wanting you to say, look, you know, are you open to investing in the property? If I was to guarantee your rent for 5 years, what would be the best rent you could do? Okay, because we want to get the best deal as possible, because you make your money when you lock in these deals. So you don't want to be desperate. If it's viewing number 20 and you're rushing, you don't want to be desperate. So you've got to ask open questions. Make sense? Well done. Round of applause, Sandra. Is this correct? I'm 15 minutes over. It's pure value though, isn't it, guys? Okay, cool. Okay, sweet. Not sweet. Nobody gave me like a signal or anything. Sorry, I've got something in my eye. No, actually, I've had something in my eye since last night. Okay, so I believe we are going to split up now. Okay, we're going to split up. So main take-home points from this, guys, is secure the viewing as quickly and as easily as possible and seed value. On the viewing, remember your circles, go through it systematically, listening, take your time, and remember, don't be desperate when it comes to finalizing that offer. So what we're going to do now is we're going to change things up. So I want you to do me a favor. If you have not got a deal, okay, if you've not got a deal, I just want you to stand up for me. Stand up grab your bags and coats if you've not got a deal, and you're going to go next door with Guy and the team of 7-figure mentors, and everybody with a deal, you're going to have a high-end first-class mastermind in here with me. Okay, so if you've not got a deal, please go next door. If you've got at least one deal and now you're looking to scale to a 6- and 7-figure business, stay with me.